Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakah, Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well, and shalom to the hopeful elect. This is another biblical commentary on Matthew the 23rd chapter, and it reads, okay, then spake Yahweh Shai to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe. Bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. So the Lord Yahweh Shai, basically with these wicked scribes and Pharisees, they were saying the right thing, alright, but their actions didn't follow after those things that were said. And today it's the same with, you have wicked scribes and Pharisees that are here today, reincarnated, nothing new under the sun. Starting with Nate Satan of IUIC and leading his followers astray, along with degenerate Yohana, man, leading his of ISUPK, leading his fold astray, and there's many other different camps as well out there doing the same thing. All right, for they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. So the burdens that they place upon their men is heavy, and they wouldn't be able to move. They themselves wouldn't be able to move it won't move it with their fingers, man. But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries. The phylacteries was according to the law. You know, we had to bind the laws onto our foreheads and upon our forearms. But they made an intention, I shall read on it, and enlarge the borders of their garments. And the borders go back to the book of Numbers, you know, about the border of blue and the fringes. So they made, you know, an outward appearing of their superiority through carnality, basically. They had the look, alright? So everyone would hold him in high esteem. Because you know Jake, man. Jake is simple. Jake, if you look the part, man, they're gonna take heed to you, whatever you say, man. Remember, it tells you in the book of Ecclesiastes 9th chapter, the poor man's wisdom is despised. So they obviously, and I'm gonna read on because it says, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts and chief seats in synagogues and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men rabbi, rabbi. So basically, they had high regard because they sat in the chief seats, all right. In the feast, they were in the uppermost rooms, they were in the, you know, sitting up there basically, and their fame was so high in regard that people run up to them when they're out in the marketplace, swaggering about, and that's how you'd have people calling them master, master, which rabbi is basically Lashwan Kodash, the Hebrew for master. Verse 8, but be not ye called rabbi, for one is your master, even Yahweh Shai, and all ye are brethren. So basically, we're all joint, you know, in coming to this knowledge, we're all joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. He said that the servant is not greater than his master. I mean, I believe this, but that the servant should be as I can't remember it, but basically the point being that the servant should be as the master. So that's the levels we're meant to be on. We're meant to be equated to that level, and the master being Yahweh Shai. So you have men that bear rule over us, and that's for order, you know, different ranks and whatnot, for the sake of order. But really, Yahweh Shai is a master of all, okay? You have men that have came into this truth and the way they've dealt with the sheepfold of Yahweh Shai as if they belong unto themselves, and they've abused them, alright? And through that abuse, you know, they're acting like as if they have the power to save the brothers in the camp when they can't even save their own damn self anyway, man. Alright? Verse 9, and call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your father which is in heaven. All right? And that's dealing with, for example, the Pope. It don't mean you don't call your father that's in the flesh. Your father, it says, honor thy mother and father. That's one of the key scriptures in the Ten Commandments, man. One of the greatest, one of the many greatest laws, okay, dealing with the Ten Commandments. So why would you disregard that and say, I ain't going to call you father no more? No, it don't mean that. What it means is calling someone such as the Pope your father, all right? Which he isn't your father. Again, we're joint, we're all brothers, we're all brethren, okay? We're all servants together, okay? But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And that's really when you deal with a leadership role. A leader really is a servant to the people that he presides over. Okay, and the reason B is because he has to basically let go of all his lively duties. I mean, he has to keep up and maintain his life, but at the same time he has the burden of caring for the flock and making sure everything's running smoothly. So that's why even it says that he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And that's really implemented in a mindset amongst the brethren to be prepared to serve one another, okay? And look out for each other. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, okay? And that's, pride will make you want to exalt yourself above men, when it's really, that's not what the Lord wants. He says, and he that shall be humble he that shall humble himself shall be exalted, being lowly of spirit. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. Okay? For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that enter into going. And why don't they go into the kingdom of heaven? Because they ain't following the law, statutes, and commandments that are written inside the scriptures. Right? They ain't keeping, and ultimately, they didn't believe on Yahweh Shai. So that's why everyone that was underneath them and followed them basically participated in that wickedness and not believing Yahweh Shai, and not being turned onto the kingdom of heaven. They're going to have to go in through the second death. And that's why the Lord said, woe unto you, destruction unto you. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. So they basically take all the money, take all the resources, that's in that widow's house, and by pretense, by acting a lie, basically, they to like diffuse attention of to make good on the taking of those goods, make a long elaborate prayer and with a broad phylacteries and great powerful oration, but really and truly it's in vain. All right. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. That's right, because they're deceiving. All right. That's basically being a devil, man, through which is deception. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye compare sea and land to make one proselyte. Proselyte means that someone newly turned to the faith from one thing to another. And when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. And who's doing that today, man? You got Nate Satan talking about he wants to get a plane so he can fly all over the earth and basically bring people into the fold. But the Lord set up the Urim and the Thummim, okay, basically the horn to gather the nation of Israel together, being the World Wide Web, where you're able to get this word anywhere you got the internet. And Nate tries to say, oh, there's no internet in Ghana. You fool. There's internet in Ghana, man. I've been there, man. I went there in 04, 05. They got the internet, man. I don't know what he's talking. Bull. There's Africa ain't. I ain't riding out for Africa or nothing, but I'm just saying, Africa's, it's called a World Wide Web for a reason, all right? So that means there's internet in Africa, you donut. But the point being is, they're compassing sea and land basically to make more devils upon this earth, man, turning Jakes onto wickedness. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple is nothing. Crazy. But whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Come on, read on. You fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifieth the gold? It's about the temple, man. That shows you their mindset. Their mindset was about gain, 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 and covetous gain. Okay, the gold is the temple that sanctifies gold, man. All right, that's the same with us as these people, as beings. Really and truly, we have the knowledge which is gonna make us be righteous. Okay, not putting on gold and phylacteries and wearing a garment that don't make us righteous. Doing acts makes us righteous. All right, you don't think. How many people you think in this world, in the history, when you go through the history of this book, the Bible, how many of them were wearing phylacteries and garments, robes with borders of blue and fringes, but they still died. They were still wicked. They're still doing wickedness. So you have to be righteous. You don't just put on a clothes and it instantly makes you righteous. And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing. But whosoever sweareth by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifieth? It's the altar, man. Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar sweareth by it, and by all things thereon. And whoso shall swear by the temple sweareth by it, and by him that dwelleth therein. And he that shall swear by heaven sweareth by the throne of Yahweh, and by him that sitteth thereon. Okay? Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and aniseed, and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. Okay, they basically wanted to have, but they didn't want to be. And I keep saying that because I like that quote, man. Goes back to an article I read talking about the rights of men within the Sioux, GAD. It's an article on art and manliness, and they basically said that the national motto was to was not to have but to be. Okay, because it wasn't about gaining possessions. It was really about being a possession as opposed to having possessions. Right? If you can't be used, you're useless, man. And that's why the Lord, dealing with a fig tree, that's why he looked at it and there was no fruit. So from this day forward, you basically die, man. So that's our place in this truth, that we have to, the weightier matters of the Lord, judgment, mercy, and faith. But they're all thinking about the gain of how they can use their position to gain possessions into their treasure. Right? These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Ye blind guys which strain a gnat and swallow a camel. Right? Which don't make sense. They're gonna swallow a big ass camel, but they're gonna strain it a gnat. Basically meaning, that's the small things they're gonna worry about, but the big things they're gonna look over them. They take them lightheartedly. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Alright? Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. And that's also goes back to Matthew the 7th chapter, where it talks about casting the beam out of your own eye before you, talk about the splinter in your brother's eye, man. You gotta be clean, you gotta be on point. And really that starts with the word. First thing when you come to the word, you find out the one the world calls Jesus Christ. His true name is Yahweh Shai. And according to the description and all over the word, it tells you he's a dark skinned man, a so called black man with a white woolly afro, man, and bloodshot red eyes. So you identify your savior, and then you identify your, maybe even before that, really you identify that what tribe you belong to. All right. You identify what tribe you're Israelite, and you identify your tribe and the Lord your savior. So knowing yourself in His word is of great importance, because then you know how you can get in where you fit in, and you can be utilized to a greater good. And that's why these things that the Pharisees, wicked scribes and Pharisees did, they were lost in the sauce, man. And we ought to really be on point, clean the inside, get your spirit right, and then everything will follow after that. You get your. I got my uncle always says this quote to me, man. He says, "Lose the mind, lose the body. Win the mind, win the body." There's a chain reaction of the spirit, the mental and physical, as opposed to and vice versa, the physical, mental and spiritual. So basically, if you abide by the carnal being the physical, it's gonna wear on your mental, and then it's basically gonna block you from being spiritual, because you're gonna be um, in cohesion with the flesh. But then when you activate yourself from the inside, as it was said, cleanse first that which is within the cup, being the spirit. Once the Lord gives you that faith, the gift of faith, then it activates your mental, and then the physical acts that you carry forth will basically be from the place of the spirit. And that's where the Pharisees, then it weren't coming from there, man. That's why they were dirty on the inside, even though they made the clean look, you know, great. All right. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but within are full of dead man's bones and of uncleanliness. Yeah, and even if you were to go into them whited sepulchres, you'd find what they do when they present a body at a funeral. They do the makeup, they put on the best clothes ever. Hey, you have Jakes that put jewelry on, man. They'll make a Jake getting buried look 10 times better than what he did when he was upon earth, man. But that's basically, these scribes and Pharisees are dead, basically. All right, and it tells you in the book of Micah that they pluck the flesh up of the men, and they put them in a cauldron, man, and basically, take away the spirit from them after the flesh has been put on them by the teaching of the word. Even so, ye outwardly appear righteous unto men. Ye outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would have not been partakers with the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which kill the prophets. Yeah, man, they commit the same acts of the same men that killed the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers. And that's what they're doing. And that's what they were going to do, all right? By, binding Yahweh Shai, and delivering him up to the Roman Empire through Pilate, who even Pilate said, look, man, he felt sorry for him, because he said, look, man, this guy guilty, and his woman was having all them dreams about him, so he knew he went wrong. But they had to fill up that measure of their fathers. Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape damnation of hell? So the Lord started to really get at them, and really and truly the whole way through this, man, I ain't really speaking with the same power and ferocity that Yahweh Shai would have been speaking with. Alright? He would have been getting at them, man, cutting them deep, letting them know. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city. And isn't that what we go through? You had brothers that in the faith, as of recently, up until a few years ago, that have been killed on the front line teaching this word, man, through the wickedness of the people, or being, delivered up into prison cells for persecution, okay, being moved from city to city, alright, different forms of scourging. That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of the righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias the son of Bacchias, okay, whom you slew between the temple and the altar. So Abel, this blood is gonna be, and that shows you even that they're the sons of Cain, as it spoke of in the book of John, man. You of your father, you are of your father the devil. John 10:10. I can't paraphrasing it, my mind it's escaping me. All right. And Zacharias the son of Bacchias, Barachias, whom he slew with the temple and altar. I believe this is going into the book of Chronicles with Zechariah, who was a son of a great high priest. He basically did. Actually, I'm not sure. Let me even fall back on that. But reading on, alright. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation, alright. And that generation is back here today, alright, waiting for this slated judgment. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them, which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her sons on his chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth till ye say, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. And that's that, man. The Lord, simple and plain, man. With that, I pray you're edified. Shalom.